Hi everyone, welcome to Let's Excel YouTube channel for learning English for beginners. Today's video is about the present perfect tense and a review for verb tenses. So the lecture will be divided into two parts. We will learn about the present perfect tense in the first part. Then we will review all the tenses that we learned so far. That includes the present simple, the past simple, and the simple future, in addition to the present perfect that we will introduce shortly. Let's start by the definition and the form of the present perfect. The present perfect tense is a verb tense used to describe actions or states that occurred in the past but have a connection to the present. We form the present perfect by using the auxiliary verb have, in the present simple of course, followed by the past participle of the main verb. The choice between have and has depends on the subject of the sentence. So with I, you, we and they, we add have plus the past participle, while with she, he and it, we add has plus the past participle. How do we get the past participle? For regular verbs, the past participle is typically formed by adding ed at the end of the regular verb, such as walked, talked, played, watched, passed, jumped, worked, opened, liked, loved, called, laughed, etc. However, irregular verbs have unique past participle forms that do not follow the regular ed pattern. This is a list for 75 common irregular verbs. You can find online different lists like this one, where on the first column we have the basic form of the irregular verb called also the infinitive form. On the second column we have the simple past form of the irregular verb. And the third column is the past participle, and this is what we have to use to form the present perfect. For example, we have the verb to see, the infinitive is to see, the past simple is saw, and the past participle seen. So the present perfect for the verb to see is have or has seen. That's what we're gonna see in this example. I have seen that movie before. With I we use have, and the past participle of the verb to see is seen. I have seen that movie before. She has traveled to many countries. She has traveled to many countries. So with she, we use has instead of have. And the past participle for the verb travel. Travel is a regular verb. It's not an irregular verb. So we only add ed at the end of the verb. Has traveled. She has traveled to many countries. Let's talk now about when do we have to use the present perfect. We will learn some rules or indications that allow us to know that we should use the present perfect. The first rule: we use the present perfect when we talk about experiences or actions that have occurred at an unspecified time in the past. So the time in the past is not specific, is not known, is not exact. Example, I have visited Paris. It means at some point in my life I visited Paris, but we don't know exactly when. It's different from saying, for example, last year. If we use last year, the time is known. So we have to use simple past in this case. Last year I visited Paris. But without specification of the time, we use the present perfect. I have visited Paris. The second rule, we use the present perfect to discuss actions that started in the past and are still relevant or have an impact on the present. For example, they have lived in this city for 5 years. 5 years is the duration. They started living here 5 years ago and they still live here now. So we use the present perfect. We also use the present perfect to express actions or events that happened in the recent past, the close past, without specifying the exact timing. Example, have you finished your homework? This is an example with a question, so a teacher can ask student, have you finished your homework? And the student can answer, yes, I have finished my homework. So finishing the homework, it's not long time ago, it's a recent past. It is referring to the immediate past, recent one, without stating the exact time. So the student cannot say, I have finished my homework like 10 minutes ago. If we specify the time, we know that the action has started and ended in the past, so we have to use the simple past in that case. He finished, not he have finished. When the exact time is not specified, we use the present perfect. I have finished my homework. Have you finished your homework? We use also the present perfect to talk about actions that have occurred multiple times in the past, many times in the past. Example, he has played soccer 3 times this week. He played soccer 3 times this week and it could continue to happen in the future. So he has played 3 times this week. The last rule is the use of the present perfect when we have some time expression words such as already, yet, just, never, ever, recently, and so far. These expressions give more context to the time frame of the action. For example, we have just finished. It gives an indication that it's a recent time. Recently, I have just, the minute of talking, I have just finished our project. So when you see these words already, yet, just, never, ever, recently, and so far, use the present perfect. Let's look at some examples. I have studied English for 3 years. So I have highlighted here or choose a different color for the expression that allow me to use the present perfect here in this sentence for 3 years. For 3 years is the duration, but it started in the past 3 years ago, and it's still relevant to the moment of speaking. I have studied English for 3 years. She has already visited Italy. So here we have one of the words that we said these words are include a time expression already. So we use the present perfect. They have never been to a concert. They have never been to a concert. So never, again, this is another word, time expression word. Have you ever tried sushi? Ever is also in the list of the time expression words. Have you ever tried sushi? He has lost his keys again. So the word again at the end, it shows that the keys were lost before one time and maybe 2 times, 3 times. So the word again, it means it includes a repetition. It includes that this action happened multiple times. So we use the present perfect. He has lost his keys again. The company has recently launched a new project. So here we have recently is the time expression word that we indicates to us that we have to use the present perfect. Have you seen that movie yet? Yet is also a time expression word accompanying the use of the present perfect. They have lived in this house since 2010. So since 2010, it means they lived starting from 2010 and they still live here in that house up to the present. So this action started at some time in the past and still relevant to the present moment. I have read 3 books this month. I have read 3 books this month. So this also includes an action that show a repetition or many times, multiple times in the past. I have read 3 books this month. We arrive now to the second part of this video where we will be reviewing the present simple, the past simple, the future simple, and the present perfect. So we will look at some multiple choice questions and we will discuss them. In the first sentence, we have I space to the gym every day. We have the word every day. It expresses repetition. And with repetition, we use the simple present every day, always. So the answer is I go to the gym every day. Sentence number 2. Last year, they a trip to Europe. Last year is a time that ended. This year it's 2023. Last year it's 2022. so it ended. So I took the trip to Europe, and this action has started in the past and ended in the past last year. So in this case, we have to use the simple past or the past simple, which is took. Last year they took a trip to Europe. She, her homework already. The verb to finish. She, her homework already. With the word already, we use the present perfect. So finish will be have finished, but we have here she, so we use has finished. Finish is a regular verb. We only add ed for the past participle. She has finished her homework already. We something to the party tomorrow. Tomorrow is a time. It's a time expression that indicates the future. We choose smartly from the choices they are giving us: are going, go, or goes. The only one that expresses the future is are going. We are going to the party tomorrow. Their project last week. Again, last week is the same case as last year, so it's an indication of a specific time in the past. We use here the simple past, completed. They completed their project last week, sorry. Let's continue. My brother in London. My brother in London. There is no expression, no timing in this sentence, so we don't know. So usually when we don't use any indication of time, we are talking about something called a fact, something true, a fact. My brother, he lives in London. So we use the simple present. My brother lives in London. The second sentence, next month we to the beach. So next month, it's a future. We will go. He, French, for 2 years. For 2 years, it's a duration. It indicates that it started 2 years ago and it's still relevant to the present, so we have to use the present perfect. He has studied French for 2 years. She, 6 books so far. Again, we have 6 books written in so far, so we don't know when this started, but it started at some point in the past and it's still up to now we are counting, and so far is one of the time expression words that we use. We have to use the present perfect when we see so far, so it has written. She has written 6 books so far. This book before. Before, again, it's a present perfect. I have read this book before. Let's continue. The sun in the morning. The sun, it's about rising in the morning. So we don't say has risen or rose. It's a fact. The sun rises each morning, every day. So we use the present simple or the simple present. They to the concert last night. Last night, it's a past, it's a specific time in the past, so the action has ended. We use the simple past. They went. Went is the past form of the verb to go. She something her favorite TV show already. With already, without thinking, use present perfect has watched. We a movie tonight. Tonight is the time in the future, so we will watch a movie tonight. He his homework yesterday. Yesterday is a past time. It's a known time in the past, so we use the simple past. He finished. I think this is the last page. The plane something off in an hour. In an hour, it's an indication of a future timing. For example, your flight is late and you are asking the steward when will the plane take off. So he can answer, the plane will take off in an hour. This is an example of future, simple future. They something for that company for 5 years. This is a duration. It started 5 years ago and it's still relevant to the present, so we have to use they have worked. Tomorrow, future. She is going to the museum. This exam many times, multiple times in the past, so we have to use the present perfect. I have passed this exam many times. I have succeeded this exam many times. I have failed this exam many times. All it's an indication for the present perfect. He something a great job on the project. The verb to do. Usually with a great job we say you did a great job. He did a great job. So it's did. He did a great job on the project. We congratulate somebody about at the end of the project. So the action has ended in the past. He did a great job on the project. That was the end of our video. Thank you for watching. I hope that you enjoyed it. Leave me your comments in the comments box. I will be more than happy to answer. See you in the next one. Bye bye.